I just bought the book Bushcraft by Mors Kochanski, and I decided that instead of just putting it on the shelf, I would read it and try to practice the skills inside. In order to motivate myself to do so, I'm starting a little outdoors book club on my channel. The purpose of these videos is to share information, practice. I'm hoping to learn a lot in the process, and hopefully you will too. One other thing, I'm not an expert. If I was an expert, I wouldn't need to buy a book. You'll get to see what an average guy from Iowa does trying to practice these skills. You don't have to be a Superman to go outside. Welcome to episode 11. In this episode I'm going to show the sharpening of an axe and just a couple general axe maintenance and care things. Now, one of the things that Mors emphasizes in his book is that you should take care of your axe and maintain a shaving sharp edge on it so that the axe works more efficiently, and also if you maintain it every single time you use it, the restoration of the axe to shaving sharp is not as difficult. Now, this is an axe that in the previous episode I rehandled and reground the edge, and I got a lot of the big stuff out of there. The thing to determine first about whatever file you happen to have is which way the teeth are going. Now, this happens to be a double cutting file, meaning it has teeth that point this way and teeth that point this way, but most of the files that you're going to find will have one direction that the teeth should be used in. And if you use it in the opposite direction, all it's doing is bending the teeth over and making your file less efficient and last shorter amount of time. So what you want to do is set your axe on a nice stable edge, and he in the book shows 3 ways of sharpening. One way is to sharpen, and I wouldn't do it this way, but one way that he shows as being the safest way is to file away from you and also away from the edge, so that you're not going to catch your fingers or hand on the edge while you're sharpening it. Another way is to file so that you're filing towards the edge, although you have to be very, very careful when doing this because your fingers could potentially run into the axe edge and injure them. Now, a third way is if you have a file that is dulling, you create a pivot point here and move the file back and forth across the edge like this. Now, you would use a file if there were chips out of the edge or other problems like that, and you needed to remove a lot of metal. In this case, I've gotten this edge more or less smooth and just about to where I want it. Another thing that he shows in the book is if there is a significant chip out of the edge, instead of trying to file and maintain this nice smooth curve across the whole length, file that particular part flat, and then it'll be curved and then flat and then curved again, and over time with use and continued sharpening that will regain its curve. That way you don't have to remove metal along the whole length of the edge when there's still plenty of life left in this part of the edge, and a little short flat spot won't hurt anything. Now, this is a sharpening stone that has coarse on one side and smooth on the other. You can use these wet or dry. I've got a little bit of water here. I'm just going to dip it in. I'm starting with the coarse side, and it also has a fine side. You start with the coarse side and keeping your fingers on top, not down like this, but on top. You'll make a circular motion with the edge, making sure that you bevel like this. You want to keep that nice convexity. You don't want any flat spots in the edge. You want it nice and convex all the way to the tip. So we'll just do a quick demonstration of that. And again, you're wanting to make sure that you keep that as convex as you can get it, making nice circular motions and angling the stone like this as you're doing it. And once you've done one or two passes on one side, turn the axe over and do the same thing on the other side. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you take about the same amount of metal off of each side. Just make sure that if you use your stone wet, that you let it dry out all the way before you put it back in this container. If you don't have one of those circular files, that's okay. You can use a regular bench stone. This is a Norton Fine India stone. And when you're first starting out and you want to make sure you're doing this correctly, what you can do is take a magic marker and black the edge here. And what we will do is make sure that we're taking off metal in the right spots. Now on this stone I've usually used just WD-40, so that's what I'm going to use. What you want to do is use the eye of the axe back here, this is the eye, as a guide for your honing angle. And so what you do is you start like this, you lay it down so that it's touching both sides, and sometimes it helps kind of pick it up a little bit and hold it. Lay it down so that it's touching, and then just lift ever so slightly. And then do the same kind of motion, maintaining that same angle. And what I'm looking for is to take metal out well in advance of the actual edge. And what I'm doing is I'm thinning down here to try to maintain that convexity. Now if you see the part where I took the metal off is, you can see right there where I took it off. And when you've got it filed down back there, what you do is you just lift up just a little bit. Instead of keeping it almost flat and touching the eye, just lift a little bit. And repeat. And this way you know you're maintaining a nice convex edge all the way out to the edge. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up even further. And this way we'll get the edge nice and sharp. And now that we've done that all the way out to the edge, we would flip it over and do the other side. And when you get it nice and sharp, you'll be able to feel it, and there'll be a little burr on there. The next step after you get this down and sharp and nice like you like it is to put it on a strop. And you use a little bit of metal polish on the strop. And it's basically a piece of leather that you've got mounted on a paddle, and you do the same exact kind of thing, only pushing away, and that will take that little burr off and put a nice polish on the edge. So that's it. That's my restore. I did verify on my arm that it is shaving sharp, and I'm done. Now, this is another axe I want to show a couple things on. This one is also shaving sharp. I just finished putting this together and getting everything all figured out, and it's ready to go. Now, before I put this up and before I put it away, the first thing I do is I take some linseed oil and I put it on the handle. One of the reasons that I'm not too crazy about the other axe handle is that it is a lacquered finish. It's not just a natural wood finish, and when you have a lacquered finish, if you are using it and your hands sweat, it can make it tacky so that it'll be sticky and you'll get blisters. So I just wipe in a little bit of linseed oil on the handle, and then I wipe it right off. Again, I don't want to create like a varnish on here. And don't forget to put a little bit on the top as well, this part here. And that's just to keep it from shrinking or doing anything like that. It'll keep it from drying out. And our handle is nice and oiled. Now we have to deal with the axe head. For this, I like to use gun oil. You can certainly use another product, And what I do is I put a little bit of gun oil on the axe and kind of wipe it in, and we'll do that on both sides, and the oil will keep things from rusting. The next thing I'll do will be to put a little bit more on, just to keep a little bit thicker coat this time. I'm not wiping it off. But what I want to do is let this air dry so that there's kind of a little bit thicker, more durable coating of oil. And the axe itself is done. What I'll do is I'll hang this and let the axe head air dry before I put the sheath on. Just take a look at your sheath, make sure it's looking good, there aren't any problems with it. You want to take care of the sheath too, and every once in a while just go over it with some shoe polish. So that is axe care and maintenance and rehandling an axe. We've really covered a lot. Now we're actually going to use the axes.